Welcome to Facebook BBC Africa. I'm with two young ladies. I get to say young ladies because, hey, look at them. So it's Isatou Jallow and
Rayaan Badi. Hello.
Hello. So, ladies, you are here because you are partaking in Miss Teen Africa UK.
Yep.
First of all, Isatou, I put this to you. What is Miss Teen Africa UK?
In basic terms, it's a beauty pageant. But to me, Miss Teen Africa is a way to connect with the youth, bring together all your brothers and sisters and celebrate our culture. But it's a pageant for 15 to 19-year-olds.
So I was right when I said young ladies.
Yeah.
I won't be partaking in
No,
this.
no. Just a bit too late. Just a little bit.
Thank you very much. Just thank you so very much. So Rayaan, why are you taking part in this?
So Miss Teen Africa was a way for me to sort of connect back to my roots and show, just present Kenya to the world in a sense, and to show everyone that, we may have these stereotypes about Africa, but we're not really like that. We have a lot of beautiful culture, costumes, everything. Just showcase that.
So how many, because I have you two here, you're representing the Gambia, you're representing Kenya, as you just said, Rayaan. How many people are partaking in this contest this year?
It's 10 girls participating. Yeah.
10 girls. I mean, that's just 10 different countries.
Yeah.
And we've got over 50 countries.
Yeah.
So why not just, have more?
It's Miss Teen Africa, this is the second year we've done it. So I guess it's not as wide scale as maybe it should be, but it's slowly getting there, because last year it was a lot of the same countries and now it's one of each country. Each girl is from a different place, which is, I think, is good,
So which other countries are participating?
We have Congo,
Malawi,
Seychelles,
yeah, Nigeria,
Ghana.
yeah.
Well, don't forget your countries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your experience been like, if I can start with you, Isatou?
It's been really good, actually. I don't know where to start. It's been really good. It's been an eye opener in terms of, I never knew in the beginning why I joined Miss Teen Africa. Maybe I was just bored and I said, but along the way I've realised that it's a really good thing. It's made me more not self-conscious but self-appreciative, in terms of that I'm so happy to be Gambian. I'm so happy to showcase it, this is who I am, and that's what I've learned along the way. So it wasn't something that I started with. And Miss Teen Africa it's helping build my confidence, my reliance on my people as well. So yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Rayaan? What has the experience been like?
So for me, it was more when I first started off, I was really in my shell. I didn't really come out as the confident person I know I am. So meeting up with the girls, having something in common, we're all African, we all have that one thing in common. So it's been it's to know that there's other girls out there who are from the same background as you, who share that culture and who are equally as beautiful. We're all queens at the end of the day. So just to be around girls like that is so empowering. It's just a good feeling.
So listening to you two ladies, and I know that the title is Miss Teen Africa UK. Were you born in the UK?
Yeah.
Both of you.
Yeah.
So then again, it begs the question. I mean, yes, we are all Africans. We are all wanting to represent the continent, whichever country we come from. But if somebody were to ask you, how do you connect with Africa when you haven't lived there?
I guess it's that, you have your mum and your dad and they come here, and even though it's a completely new place, the way you live in that sort of culture. They bring the same standards and the same, rules and stuff. So
you always feel like you're part of it.
Yeah. Because when you go outside and you meet other people that are not necessarily African or, from the same culture as you, they'd be like, oh, you do that? And you're like, yeah, doesn't your mum do that? And, so it's almost, it's practically, you're living there. They've brought a part of, your culture to a completely new place. Mm-hmm. So no one gets to tell me whether I'm African or whether I belong or I don't belong. I determine that because it's in my blood. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Rayaan?
My parents always told me when you're at home, you're in Kenya. When you walk out the house, you're in the UK. So I've always been brought up in a household where we stick so like strongly to Kenyan like culture. So I've always felt like I'm Kenyan. My parents are Kenyan. It's in me. And like growing up in London, so multicultural. I think I have about 10 friends who are from the same part of Kenya as me. So I've never actually felt that I'm not Kenyan or I'm like so distant from Kenya.
So, because if I can put this to you, Rayaan, you mentioned something about stereotypes. You want to change those stereotypes. For people who don't live in the UK, who haven't lived in the UK, who don't know what those stereotypes might be, could you give us an example? And it may be Isatou, so if you also have some other types of examples that you can give to give people listening and watching what kind of stereotypes you want to change.
So there are a lot of stereotypes such as that Africans are uneducated, that we lack like basic education, and I feel like that's it's not true, because a lot of us are educated. We do have education, and it's not as how people perceive. So
if I might, I in a way I sort of agree, but I don't at the same time. I believe Africa right now, we're at a stage where we're very uneducated, actually, in terms of like our mind, not like the governmental type education, but in terms of, just going out and, I don't know, just being, seeing something that's not right and saying something about it. We don't know how to open up and how to say this is wrong, this is right, and that's why there's a lot of dictatorships, and there's a lot of problems in Africa. And I feel like there needs to be a point where we become educated, we enlighten ourselves, and we open up our minds and say that there's things in Africa that are not right. There's war like in Congo ongoing, like before I was born, you was born. Why? Like there's clearly something's missing. There's an educational part of our mind that hasn't developed. So that's just my thing with education. But there are terrible stereotypes.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah, besides the education, which it's good, because it's your experience, what you think and what you see. But for you, what other stereotypes do you feel that are out there about Africans in the UK or in the Western world?
I think for me, like I'm not really towards the stereotypes. I'm just like the judgment. I'm more upset about, like with like the hair, like you've got your hair out and it's beautiful.
Thank you.
I think, we're perceived to be like, we shouldn't have our hair out, we shouldn't be natural, we shouldn't, open up ourselves and show the world that, my skin is dark, this and that. And I feel like when you live in the UK, it's harder to showcase yourself. Whereas in Africa, you go and you see people with their hair out in braids and this and that. And I think here that needs to change. It shouldn't be a trend. It should just be something that you're comfortable doing from the age of birth. From birth,
yeah. So how then are you planning to go ahead and changing those stereotypes? I like the idea you're bringing out about hair and because there's always these stories about skin color, dark versus light. So how do you guys and the other ladies, 8 of them, and the organization Miss Teen Africa UK going to go about changing the stereotypes?
I think it's a thing of being a role model. So when people see that, oh, I'm confident the way I am, it will spread. You can start a campaign. It will spread to other young girls. They'll realise, oh, Miss Teen Africa, she's confident. Why can't we be like her? So I feel like we create an image to inspire the younger generation who will soon follow.
Yeah. So another question that I'm going to put up to you, ladies, is this idea that this is a beauty pageant. It's based on how people look. There have been some critics and comments that say, it shouldn't be like this. What do you say to those people who say beauty pageants are things of the past? They shouldn't exist. Because you're talking about confidence, and it's all sizes. We should all be confident in our bodies, in our skins. But there are comments, there are critics still out there.
That really hurts me when people say that, because we might go on stage, wear beautiful dresses, have our full hair and makeup done. We look good, but behind all of that, we're girls who have the biggest hearts. We're there for a reason, to inspire younger generations, to inspire people to believe in themselves. We're just there as role models. Like, it's not just about looking good. Because I've done a pageant in the past where it was based around charity. I raised about 31,000 Kenyan shillings and donated every single penny I earned to Gertrude's Children's Hospital. And I feel like it's just a platform. It's not just about looking beautiful. It's a platform. Like, you get the media, you get all of this focused on you. That's a platform to start a campaign, to get the awareness out there, to tell people, look, we have problems. It's just a platform, I believe. I don't think it's just about looking good.
If I can, there's...
Go ahead.
If you look at the 10 girls, including us, like, that are participating, it varies in shape, size, everything, skin colour. So you've got Rayaan that's light, and I'm quite dark. I'm darker than Rayaan as well. You've got girls that are, have different, like, health as well. So we have Noelle, who suffers from sickle cell. So, besides the beauty, there's so much more to us. It's not only a way to show other people that we're confident, it's a way to gain confidence in ourselves, because I know that even though we applied, we was thinking, I bet the girls that are applying are probably more beautiful, more beautiful than us. But along the way, you realise that, we're all beautiful, we're all like great girls, and there are other great girls out there, and it's just about finding yourself and being willing to say that I'm beautiful too.
So if you are catching us now, I am here with Isatou Jallow and Rayaan Badi. They are participating in Miss Teen Africa UK. If you're watching on Facebook Live, please do give us your comments, your messages and everything. I'll put them to the ladies, but let's keep going. Now, the idea of you guys doing this, you mentioned confidence. You wanted to kind of kill the stereotypes and all that, those kind of things. What has the reaction been like for your friends, your parents, people around you? What are they saying?
In college, I get called Miss Teen Africa.
Yeah, me too.
Already?
Always. Miss Teen Africa, Miss Teen Africa. Like, I haven't won yet. But I feel like...
I like that.
Yeah.
She's confident, that one.
I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like people are looking up to me already, and I haven't even gotten that far yet, but people are coming up to me. There's one girl who came up to me and she was like, oh, Rayaan, you've really inspired me. I want to do something similar. I want to, she read my bio. She was like, she wants to raise money for her country, Somalia. She came to me and I felt so like, I was proud of myself in a way. I was like, really? Already?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Yeah.
So it's been good.
Yeah, really
What
good.
about you, Isatou?
It's been good. I've received like both goods and negatives. I think just because of people I surround myself by, not like saying anything about them because everyone's great. But no, most in the beginning, my mum wasn't too sure about it. But along the way, we sat down and we spoke about it, and she's like, whatever you do in life, I know you're going to be great. And then the support's there now. And it makes me feel happy because, and my dad, oh my gosh, he called me. He's like, Isatou, oh really? I heard your mum called me, everything. And he was just happy. And then I was like, yeah.
Proud parents.
Yeah, so, but a lot of the support's been there. People like, oh, Isatou, I'm going to vote for you, whatever. Voting for the other girls as well, because I've made sure that, you have to vote for everyone.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure there is fairness.
Yeah. Even though I vote for myself more.
Can you vote for yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But only once or multiple times?
Only once, yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned college. What are you studying?
I'm currently studying economics, geography, and media studies.
Oh, what about you, Isatou?
I go to drama school.
Oh, yes, you did mention. Yeah. So your dream is to be an actor, a singer?
Aspirant actor.
Okay.
Yeah, actress.
Well, why not? All right. Again, as I said, we are live on Facebook. My name is Victoria, and I'm with Isatou and Rayaan from Miss Teen Africa. So I've got one question, and please, people, keep bringing those questions so I can put them to the ladies. I have Claire Ndozi Anosike, who says she wants to know, if you could change anything about Africa, what will it be?
You go first.
Wow, I hate this question so much.
Well, we asked for questions.
Yeah, it's putting me on the spot.
Messenger.
So studying geography, so bringing back my college, we learn a lot about colonization and how superpowers run the world. And one of the things that's stopping the development in African countries is the governments. Because, yeah, we receive a lot of aid from, say, America, China. All these countries are giving our countries aid. But it's not trickling down to the healthcare, the education, because of the governments. They're so corrupt. The money's just going straight into their pockets. So, and it's not helping in the way it should be. So that is one thing I would change. So the government system in Africa.
You've had time to think now.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to put on the spot. I always knew what I was going to say. No, I'm joking. So I think for me, it'd just be the ignorance within Africa. I think that it's so widespread. I think that's one thing that just you find in every part of Africa, and it needs to change. It needs to stop. Like, people need to be aware that, you know, you share this continent, and it can be a very, very, very powerful continent. Like, everything you need in life, you can find in Africa. And I strongly believe that, you know, Africa is so powerful and so so different, you know, that we can survive on our own. I really believe that. But because of the ignorance and the corruptness, you know, government, but these are the people that we allow into power a lot of the time. You know, they say the right thing to us, you know, but they don't bring anything to the table, and we let them stay in power and, you know, treat us like we're worthless. And it's been going on for years, and I guess it will continue to go on until we stop being ignorant and we stop being selfish, and we say that, you know, enough is enough. You know, the white man's not going to come in and change things for us, and we're not going to allow anyone else to change things for us. We're going to be the change that we need.
So are the young people the change, or the people who already, you know, our parents or my parents' generation, your parents' generation, are they then the change, or who is going to be that change?
It's always the young people.
It's always the young people.
Yeah.
I strongly believe that. I feel like we are the ones to follow. We cannot follow in the way that history repeats itself. We must do something different. We can't allow it to carry on. We must be the change, and it will only happen if we change. So the young people.
All right, so we are getting so many comments, and so many people are loving this. They're saying, well done, girls, keep it up. Let me see. There is Gary Jallow. Do you know? Oh, yeah. Well, no family. No. Okay, well, at least they say, so proud to be a full-fooder and African. So somebody who's has been watching and had been here. Somebody says, such happy and intelligent girls, keep representing Africa and stay proud. So people are very proud of you and the work that you're doing. And you mentioned sickle cell, which is also something that Miss Teen Africa UK is working as part of to raise awareness and such. Do you girls, because it's Noelle who has do you know what it is, so you can quickly tell people why exactly Miss Teen Africa UK is doing it? She's delegating a lot.
Yeah.
Well, we did go to a whole event basically just about sickle cell. We were there with the organisation we're helping. We went to go meet them and to just have a sort of meeting. I think that's what should be done if we're having a whole event in support of a charity, that we were there to meet them. So we got to know them, and they went through a lot of individual stories, and it's I don't want to say anything wrong, so I'll speak very vaguely because my knowledge isn't that on point. So I know it affects many young people, especially with African backgrounds, and I know it has a lot of impacts on the families as well. So a lot of young people, they're in hospital for long periods of time. I know Noella, she's been missing out on a lot of boot camps due to her being in hospital, and obviously that has a very emotional impact on her and her family. So
it's really sad as well, because watching the videos, at one point I really felt the urge to cry, because it's like, you know, it's potentially you could lose your child and the thought, or your brother or your sister. And in Africa and a lot of, you know, third world countries, there's not the support or the healthcare to help them. And here, you know, people are lucky and they're blessed because, you know, we've got NHS and all these. But in Africa and in Asia and whatnot, it's not there. But with Miss Teen Africa, you know, and the fact that the world's even participating is great, because it reaches out to these sufferers, you know, saying that, you know, regardless of what you're going through, you know, you're beautiful. You can come through and you can represent.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned geography. You mentioned you are in drama school. What do you want to do or become when you grow up? When you get to my age? Just slightly older. Remember that.
You're still young. Yeah.
So, like, focusing on the academic side of my life, I would say I would love to get into finance. So, accounting, investment banking.
Fighting that corruption.
Yeah. But then since I was young, I always wanted to leave my mark in this world. So, leave something behind that people remember me by. If it's not the whole world, then maybe my family and friends. Just leave something there. And I feel like doing things like Miss Teen Africa really gives, like, me that opportunity. So years down the line, say like 30 years, if Miss Teen Africa is doing a 30 seconds show, people will remember, oh, the second pageant, Rayaan was one of the contestants, and, you know, just leave something there for everyone else to remember me by.
Yeah. And you want to be an actress?
I want to be an actress, but
TV, movies, theatre?
Anything that's just worthwhile, like something that will always give a message. Not just, you know, like, because Star Wars would be great because, you know, you got John Boyega doing it for, you know, the Nigerians, the Africans, the UK kids as well. But, you know, something that, like, reaches out, just like Star Wars did, but other things as well. I don't want to just limit myself to acting as well. I want to do, like, charities. I want to do events. I want to, you know, start campaigns. And I want to travel the world. That's what I know I want to do for sure. Travel Africa, because I only go Gambia, which is not fair. You know, I want to go Kenya, I want to go Egypt.
She can take you.
Yeah,
Come on, take her to Nairobi. Show her the traffic, the nyamachomas and everything. Now, ladies, before we wrap up, it's been such a pleasure speaking to both of you. The grand finale is tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know that Rayaan has already said yet. She hasn't won yet. So she's already crowned herself.
Second place.
So I start with you, Isatou. How are you going to celebrate if you win?
Celebrate. It's a celebration in itself. You know, I'll be surrounded by beautiful girls, you know, who I took this journey with. And hopefully we can all, when everything's done and over, we can all go out together, have a great time. Maybe go to a party or so.
Yeah? So no fight over the crown?
No.
How big is the crown?
Very big.
Ooh.
And beautiful.
We got sent to it on our group chat by accident, and we all got to see.
Is it too late for me to join in?
Yeah. Couple years later.
The shade there. Ladies, thank you so very much. And for everybody who's been watching, who's been commenting and sending in the questions, thank you so very much. I was with Isatou Jallow, who's representing Gambia. And I was with Rayaan Badi, who is representing Kenya for Miss Teen Africa UK. Thank you so very much, ladies. And good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep me updated.
Will do.
So you can all check all this on their page. I am sure they are young ladies. They have social media pages. Instagram and Snapchat. I caught somebody Snapchatting earlier on. So go on, and thank you so very much for being here, and for everybody who commented and talked to us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.